Hello everyone, my name is Nachito Gloria Docas and I just want to welcome all of you to this first session of our relationship talk, and today's topic is preparing for a lasting relationship.
Alright, then the second thing is to build your values, your morals and your character. Right? Build your values, your morals, and your character. Those are things that will help you out there in relationships and in marriage. Because what keeps a relationship or keeps a marriage going is really the values. You share values. You and the other person share values. Those are the most important things. It is not so much this one's very pretty and the other one's very handsome and they're really attracted to each other, and that attraction
comes from a good family.
Comes from a good family.
Has money.
Yes, has money, is well exposed, has traveled. All those are good things, but they cannot keep a marriage. They cannot maintain a marriage. Yeah, it is values.
Actually, they end up working against you.
Yeah.
If you don't have values.
That's
those
right.
things can actually be the downfall of your marriage.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you don't have values.
Yeah.
But values will help you to really be able to handle all these wonderful things. Okay, then we usually tell people to get a mentor, and this is the third thing. Yeah, help them.
Yeah, get a mentor, because there's so much you need to learn, and there are people out there who have gone ahead of you and they know a thing or two. And usually those are people who have made some mistakes, and they can help you to avoid those mistakes. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
You know, if someone else has already gone off and then learned that they went off and made their way back, they have a thing or two to teach you.
Right.
They can give you some pointers. They can help you to not make the same mistakes that they made, to do things a little bit, faster and better than they did.
Right.
And there's another perspective. Sometimes when you look at something, you can only see one perspective. Someone else is looking at it from a different perspective. They are removed from it. They are not entangled in it. They are objective. They can help you.
Right.
So having a mentor is a good thing. Then you can ask your questions before you make
the mistakes.
Yeah, so you have the answers before you have to deal with them.
That's right.
So it's a very good thing.
It's a wise thing.
It's a very wise thing, and not just before you are married, even after you are married, even when you're in the relationship, even when you commit in marriage, it is good to have people who can speak into your life.
Right. And those mentors are not your peers.
No.
Yeah, those are not your peers, because your peers know the same thing you know.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, give or take.
Yes, exactly, give or take. So you need somebody older who you trust. Ideally, should be a parent, really. But we are aware that sometimes people may not have this kind of relationship with their parents. Yeah, so get somebody you trust who can be a mentor to you. Actually, studies say that a young person who does not have a mentor, which they call an adult ally, a young person who does not have an adult ally cannot make it through the turbulent years of life. Yeah. They say if all they depend upon are their peers, they are going to have very serious problems. Because if all you are depending upon are your peers, it is like the blind leading the blind. Yeah, so get yourself a mentor. Fourthly, you need to guard your heart. Guard your heart. Have self-control. Hannah, do you want to say something about that? Self-control. Very important.
There are so many lures in life. Everything is beckoning you. Everything is attractive. Everything is, and even your friends, the people around you are telling you, you haven't tried that. You haven't been there. So it's good to have your own internal mechanism that will help you to select where to go, where not to go.
What to do?
What to do, what not to do, when to do it.
Right.
Because you could still be a student. You still have, a few years of studying, preparing for adulthood ahead of you, and people are luring you into things you will have plenty of time to do once you become an adult. So you need to have those internal guards to control yourself, to be able to do some self-speak, talk to yourself and tell yourself, not now, not today. It's like if
you're not ready yet.
If you have an exam, in a day or two, and your friends are saying, come on, it's Saturday, your exam is on Monday, it's Saturday, you'll study tomorrow, you still have a day, let's go party, let's go have fun. You're the only one who knows how much preparation you have done and whether you can afford to lose this Saturday.
Right.
So it is that self-control that will make you say, you know what, this time I will miss.
Right.
And some of those pulls are very, very, very strong. And people may even make you feel like there's something really wrong with you if you're not doing this or you're not going here. So have your own internal guards.
Yes.
Sexual feelings are there. Everybody has them. But so what are you going to do?
They're normal.
Yeah. So what are you going to do about them? Are you just going to let yourself go? Those are things which we require self-control.
And that self-control is not required only before you're married.
No, even after
you're married.
Yes.
Because even as married people, we need self-control.
Yes.
Yeah, because that is a life skill which I need for the rest of our lives. But it's better and it's good to develop it beforehand.
Yes.
Yeah, because then you can deal with crushes.
Yes.
You look at this person and they are very attractive. Yes. And a lot of people mistake crushes for love. Yeah, this young lady, really has a crush on this young man, and vice versa, and they think it's love. Most likely, it's actually not love.
No,
yeah, and so self-control helps us with that as well. Good. Fifthly, you need to learn to be obedient to those who have responsibility or authority over you. Why is that important? That is important because it builds in you the ability or the capacity to do what you ought to do, even if you don't feel like doing it. You see? Because they can tell you, okay, bring your assignment by Friday. And you'd rather not give it in. You'd rather sleep over. You'd rather, just be lazy and not do it. But you brace yourself and you go ahead and do it, and much as you really don't like it, but you do it. That ability is a very, very important ability in relationships, because way out there, when you be in relationships, when you be a husband or a wife, there are times when you'll be required to do things which you personally may not like, but which for the good of the relationship you should do, and you will find that you'll be able to do it. But if you're not used to being under authority and you only do what you want, what you like, then you are going to make a very bad relationship person and a very bad spouse when you get married, because you only want to do things that you want. Yeah.
And yet relationships are about meeting each other's needs.
That's right.
That's how you build that atmosphere of happiness, of mutual satisfaction. Yes. You are meeting each other's needs, which means that sometimes you go out of your way. Absolutely. You make sacrifices. Yes. You're doing things because you know this will make something good will come out of this.
Yes. Otherwise, no love, no sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yes. Wherever there's love, there will always be sacrifice. I mean, you see God's love, there's a lot of sacrifice there. Yeah. And also in proper love, there's a lot of sacrifice.
And that comes from learning to be obedient to those who are in authority over you. Right. Because sometimes they'll tell you to do things you don't necessarily want to do. Sometimes you're in a rush going somewhere, and this policeman in white pops into the road and goes...
And
and you have to stop.
Yes.
Because he's an authority figure. Or a traffic light. when you want to go and you've been
Yeah.
in the jam for a long time, and you know suddenly the light turns green, and you're hoping you'll be able to cross, and it turns red just before you go. You have to stop.
Absolutely.
So, but it teaches you to be an
Oh.
obedient person,
Yes.
and therefore it will be easier for you to do those things that are not necessarily fun,
Right.
but for the sake of love.
Very good. All right. Sixthly, you need to learn to socialize with members of the opposite sex without any strings. Now, this is very, very important. This is because, as a young man, you need to know how ladies think. You need to know what makes them happy, what makes them unhappy, and vice versa. As a lady, you need to know how men think, what makes them happy, what makes them not happy. Generally, you need to know that. That's good skills. That's a good life skill that you need to have in you. So that when your Mr. Right comes or your Miss Right comes, you'll be able to take care of them with knowledge. Because ignorance of the other person or ignorance of knowing how the other gender function is a very, very serious problem. And so that's something that you need to learn, and you do that by socializing with the members of the opposite sex, just like brothers and sisters, without singling out any one of them. So as a young man, you can have a string of ladies who are your friends, and vice versa. As a young lady, you have a string of friends who are male, and without singling out any one of them. That is very healthy, that is very good, and we encourage that so that you actually learn how the other gender function, so that when the right time comes for you to have your Mr. or Miss Right, you will know exactly what to do with them. Then the next thing, number 7, is keep yourself sexually pure for Mr. Right and for Miss Right. Hannah, you want to say something about that?
Yes, before you start, giving jaribu, as they call it, to everybody, you need to think about the time you settle. Because all this experimentation in the name of gaining experience is actually counterproductive. Sex is the one area where you don't need prior experience before marriage. You go in there and you learn on the job and you do very well. You don't need to have prior experience. So keep yourself pure. You don't have any skeletons in the cupboard. You don't have any mental pictures that you need to try and erase. And by the way, they stick almost permanently, those pictures. You don't have any, baggage that you bring into this relationship. You're starting on a clean slate. Nothing to compare. You're just starting on a clean slate. And that's the advantage of remaining sexually pure.
And the other thing is that you're going to have all the rest of your life, enjoying this wonderful blessing that God has given to us. So, do the due diligence now. Do what you need to do now to prepare yourself for that. That's the thing you should give priority, as opposed to spending time doing something or whatever, which is going to be yours anyway. And so really it's counterproductive, and we counsel people, and we've seen the damage that premarital sex has done into marriages. As my wife has said, some of these things are bones in the closet, skeletons, yes, in the closet, and they come and haunt you later on in married life, which you don't want. And therefore, preserve that beautiful gift for Mr. Right and for Miss Right. Now, you need to accept yourself. There's a saying that if you love others as you love yourself. So there's first need for self-love. A lot of people don't like themselves, and because of that, they don't accept themselves. And so, because they don't accept themselves, they put on this pretend version of them. Now, if you put on a pretend version of yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to be intimate with anyone. Because intimacy requires a real person with another real person. That's how you actually enjoy intimacy. But if you don't accept yourself and you have this baggage that you are carrying, things from your past which are haunting you, then you're actually going to bring that into the relationship, and it is going to be counterproductive.
Yeah. It builds a complex, which does not permit you to bear yourself completely. And so the other person can't know you completely, and then you always have guards up trying to protect those areas that you are uncomfortable about. And those guards do not allow you to give yourself fully. They do not allow you to relax enough to be known and also to know the other person.
Right.
So it's good in this preparation time to realize, hey, I grew up in a slum. That's where I grew up. There was all sorts of stuff happening. I didn't grow up in Naguru. I didn't grow up in, those nice suburbs. I grew up in a slum. But that's who I am.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you came from a broken home.
I came from a broken home. My parents were not together from the time I was a young child. It affected us this way. It makes me afraid. I don't know if I can trust this person. Is he going to do what, is what happened to my parents going to happen to us also? All that baggage you need to face.
Right.
And there's help around. There are people who can help you to work through those issues that are still holding you and making you feel like you're not a full person.
Right.
Because you are a full person, but those things are holding you down.
Exactly.
And they need to be taken care of so that when you start a relationship, you're an open book,
Exactly.
to this other person. And that way you become intimate, no secrets, nothing hidden.
Right.
You become intimate with each other.
And that's a bit about life, honey, that even if we came from those dark situations of the past, there's an opportunity to actually be fixed and to be repaired, if I can use that technical language. And so let nobody feel that, with me, my past is so bad, there's no hope for me. No, there's hope for everyone. Anybody can, as long as you're willing to be helped to face your past and deal with those issues, there is hope. Next, you need to pray for your future partner. Hannah, when did you start praying?
I might have been about 14 or 15 years, probably 15. And I didn't know I was praying for you,
Right.
but I was praying for my future husband,
Yeah.
and just telling the Lord, wherever he is, whatever he is up to,
Right.
may he walk with you, may he grow in knowledge of you, because I was already a Christian then.
Right.
And may the experiences and the encounters that he has build him into the kind of person that you want him to be, prepare him for me and prepare me for him.
Right.
As a 15-year-old, you really don't have much of a clue what it means.
What a coincidence, because I started praying at 15 years as well. And I pray, God help her, teach her this, teach her the other, protect her, prepare us for each other. Yeah. So that's a good thing to do, to prepare. And so, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the things. There are more things we could say or mention, but these are some of the things that are really important, which if a young person does, then you will do well, spending these years preparing yourself, getting ready for that time when you start a relationship. Thank you.